Est-ce que vous comprenez la colère des supporters, des salariés également de l'Olympique Lyonnais? Est-ce que vous voulez leur faire passer un message aujourd'hui dans Rothen S'enflamme?
Again, you don't worry about what people think of you if you're in this business. You have to show up and do your job. You have to be honest. You have to help. The fact is, we did nothing but help, and it wasn't good enough. We succeeded at bringing significant capital to pay off debts. There's only so much you can do about the profit and loss of a club in France. The operating losses will continue for big clubs like this. They'll just need more and more capital. So, ultimately what we were not able to fix, at the same time we're coming in, we're adding talent, we're trying to reduce expenses. We also have headwinds. We lost an enormous amount of money on television revenues. The profit and loss statement, every single year since I took over, I improved revenues, but the fans don't know that. They don't know that because these one-time injections of capital that came from CVC when we sold the TV rights. Well, that's just booking today money that you took by pledging the future. So when you look at the 2023-24 numbers or the 2022-23 numbers, each one of those included 40 to 50 million of revenues from one-time sales. So if you take all of these financial tricks out of the equation and you look at the revenues, the core operating revenues of Olympique Lyonnais, it's about 250 million that year. The next year under my leadership was about 250. The next year under my leadership was about 270. So I actually increased revenues while television was going down because I made the team better. I got back to Europa League. Every line item that I could influence, we increased. The one I could not increase was television. So what was my mistake in terms of the P&L? Well, it starts in 2023. We had 7 points after 14 rounds. I had a transfer ban that was based on somebody else's numbers, the prior owner, and I had to live with that. Should I allow the team to go into relegation or should I spend more money? Well, as you know, in football, you can't just get rid of players. You can't just stop paying them. They have contracts. So now you have to overlap expense on top of the expense you have. So our salaries ballooned up over the course of that year because we had to avoid relegation, and ultimately it worked better than that. We got to Europa League. So now you move into the next year, and you've got higher match day, you've got higher television revenues, now you have a real opportunity, but then the league blows up its TV deal. We lose $30 million in revenues alone on that, which is almost exactly the amount of revenues we brought in from TV from Europe. So the good news is all those contracts, peel off. Anthony Lopez, Lacazette, who I love, Lovren, all these people, even big bonuses for Tolisso that were paid in those years that we didn't have again. So what I delivered, I would tell the supporters, is expense reductions, which are so significant. And they were all put in place in the spring of fall of 2024 and the spring of 2025. So that when you get to June 30th, all of those wages come down. We had a 40% reduction in player wages. We had a greater reduction because of the very long developing reduction in workforce. So we delivered to the DNCG in the May meeting, in the June meeting, a financially sustainable business. Well, the supporters don't know that. They just don't know that. All they see is we get relegated. So of course they have hatred. Because what did I say? I said we had enough money to support this business, and we did. If you look at our DNCG presentation, which I'm happy to share with you, not only did we have a sustainable business, we had all the money coming in from Crystal Palace, and we had a friendly lender that would let us keep some of it if we needed it. We had an additional $70 million that we brought in from a group called Hutton Capital, which is a forward player transfer transaction. We had $25 million additional from Aries. We had another $30 million from Michelle. We had more cash shown as optional solutions for any negative cash flow challenges we had. And we had a full green light on May 20th from the DNCG that said, John, you're good. So the supporters can hate me for not being good a month later, but you have to look at what happened between May 20th and June 24th. On May 20th, we have a full green light. We do nothing but improve our numbers that month. We bring $25 million of extra cash. We sell Ryan Cherky for $30. We show up on June 24th. our numbers much better than they were on May 20th, you'll have to ask the DNCG how we have a full green light on May 20th and suddenly we're relegated on June 24th.